So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second session of the Pentavold Festival Spring Edition. Up next, we have Uwe, the managing partner at Melichar Bros. Uwe has implemented projects with Adidas, Bosch, and CNA. Together with his team, he develops packaging and communication design for his clients in Japan, Russia, China, the US, and various European countries. He is a lecturer at multiple universities. He is a member of the Type Directors Club in New York, and he is the president of the European Brand and Packaging Design Association. He's got more credentials than anyone I've ever met. He's going to be doing a fantastic presentation. Following Uwe's presentation, we will be asking your questions, so please type them in the Q&A box below. You can ask your questions at any time during the presentation, and questions can be upvoted, and the best ones will be asked at the end. Make sure you're sharing any of your videos or photos across our channels and tag us at Pentavold or using the hashtag Pentavold Spring Festival. So without further ado, it's over to you, Uwe. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Adam. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for the warm words. Yes. I am an experienced speaker, yes, but it's really, I'm a little bit excited, must say, because you have really a wide audience, and I respect Pentavold a lot. So, but let's go through my presentation. I will share my screen now. So here we go. Yeah, packaging, the future of packaging, fear and fright. The question is, shall we have fear? Shall we be frightful if we look at the future of packaging? Well, you get hopefully the answer in my presentation in the next 25 minutes. This is me. Adam already told you a lot about me. I'm running my little company, Melichar Bros. Apart from that, I'm here as the president of EPDA, that's the European Brand and Packaging Design Association. You can see us top right. And what are we doing? Well, we have members all across Europe. We run conferences, events on and offline. We have tools, and we want to share knowledge and inspiration amongst our members and our network. Yeah, and we believe in exchange as a source of inspiration. We're also fostering the dialogue along the whole value chain of packaging production. So from the industry via the designers to the brand owners and back. That's what we're doing, and you're welcome to join us in our club. But now let's dive into the subject. Well, this is a collection of my boarding passes, which I collected within the last 2 decades. I was traveling really much. And if I'm looking back, I would say, well, not all of these flights have been necessary. Half of it may not have been necessary. And today we have tools like Zoom or Miro Board, where we can do online meetings with our clients. You all know this. And well, I decided for myself, I don't do that anymore. I won't go for a meeting for just 2 hours at the airport. I will do all these things online, and I want to give back. I'm focusing on sustainable packaging. You will hear more about that in the presentation. Looking at packaging. So question is, can we imagine a world without packaging at all? So naked products, naked food, as you can see here, can we reduce to zero? Well, the reality says there are opportunities. This is, for example, one of these package-free stores called Original Unverpackt, a German retailer, but there are others in New York, package-free stores, or Bulk Market in London, Original Unverpackt, as I said, Ome Farm in Tokyo. So this is a fantastic idea. This is very idealistic, but from my point of view, it lacks some really important things which can be brought by packaging, and it's too dogmatic. So imagine if you want to like transport wet dog food, or how can we distinguish between products? How can we differentiate the products? What is with the brands? We have to transport the brands on packaging. So many things which we won't have in these vision. The reality looks different. That's also not a future ideal of packaging for sure. There will be something in the middle. If you look at stores today, they already have a section where package-free goods are sold, and for some products this makes absolutely sense. If we want to talk about sustainability in packaging, then it's my deep belief that it needs a good balance. So packaging has different roles, different tasks to solve. So it needs to protect the valuable goods from damaging, from influences, ensure shelf life, also during storage and transport, then it needs to be secured. Communication and convenience is important. So the important things about the products are communicated, the brands are transported, the product values are shown, and last but not least, sustainability is an issue because we can't go on like we do today. We need to find different solutions for material, for constructions, for all this, and that's what I want to talk with you about today. But let's first have a look on protection. There is one project I recently saw. This is a project from IKEA in Russia, and they came up with this super cool paper pulp. I'll even have it here on my desk, this paper pulp material to protect their products. And you can tear it in both directions. It can be laid around products, and it replaces the plastic padding film, which you normally find in online packages and so on. It's not a sexy project, but I think we as designers have to come up with exactly those solutions. Another big issue, if we talk about the packaging of the future, is digitization. A big word. There's a lot going on also in the background. It can increase value. And my first experience with digitization was when I bought a cup of coffee in the US at the Starbucks some years ago. And I said, my name is Uwe, and what you find on the cup is over. So I thought, well, with digitization, everything is getting better. So last year I've been to New York again and got my coffee, and now it said Ruben. Well, not much better, I would say. So there's still room for improvement. What it shows is if you digitize a shit process, you get a shitty digital process. It's as simple as that. But there are also very good examples what digitization can do for us in packaging and also for other areas. Looking at digital printing, which is a very important part, we see this on our shelves. So Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nutella, McDonald's, everybody is doing, personalized or personalized printing. So there are 200,000 of these Coke bottles with different patterns on. But the question is, if you really ask yourself, why? So is it really adding value to the product and to the brand? I have my doubts. There are very good things which are driven by digital printing. For example, the digital printing market will grow a lot. Today we have $18.6 billion market growth, and in 2024 it will be 31.6 billion. And what makes digital printing in packaging attractive? Well, it's the economic short runs, for example, which means we have shorter time to market, we have smaller print runs. It's also the engagement, we reduce, we personalize label, we can target different sections of the market. We can run campaigns which are really adding value for the customers. It's a legislation thing. So with digital printing, we can communicate in the national language, for example, local language. It can be an identifier, means security and brand protection validation is a big issue. But also if you look at the whole supply chain, there are benefits, can carry a batch identification. It can have the best before dates in a different way than today. And it also adds value in terms of sustainability, because you don't need to print those massive volumes. You can do smaller volumes, and that means that we reduce resource consumption. Yeah, there are some barriers in digital printing which we have to overcome, but I think in future packaging that will happen. It already happens. So pre-press, color matching, substrates, drying problems will be solved. One project I was busy with when I've been at Factor with my colleagues, we did this packaging. It's an integrated packaging with the product, and it's a self-test for immune diagnostics. So you can do the test at home, and you'll get via your smartphone, you get a qualitative result right away, which really helps you with your health. And with this integrated and smart packaging, you have an extra value, and this is really obvious. So another big topic I would like to address today is circular. We have to go circular. So you know, there's the technical circle, there's the biological circle. And what does it mean? Well, there is this waste hierarchy pyramid, and it shows what we can do in packaging, and we have to do that at the very beginning when we plan a project or when we design a project. From avoid to dispose, there are different levels. Avoid for sure is the best you can do. If you don't use packaging material, it's much better than reducing it, but reducing is already something. So lightweight, rethink, redesign packages is an option. Reuse is a very big issue. I'll come to that later. So deposits, incentives, value, these are the things can be done in the reuse part. Recycle, one of the most discussed topic today. Here quality matters. We have to have defined materials. Then there's also composting, biodegradable packages, where it makes sense, I would say. In some areas, it doesn't make sense because there is no system behind that takes the compostable packages, and not all of us have a garden where you can just put them in the soil. Recover is, well, not the least, but not a very good opportunity. If you burn the waste, then it'll end up in energy. That's at least something, I would say. And well, if nothing of this applies, then we have to dispose it. That is at least better than littering. Then, if you start a project with your client, if you think about sustainability, I don't want to go into detail, but we have to define key criteria for your assessment. I did this chart together with Christian Dinter, a cradle-to-cradle expert with whom I'm working together closely. So you have to think and talk about the purpose of the pack. And you have to do this together with the industry and with your client, most probably. You have to define a use case, production, logistics, retail, consumer needs have to be tackled. We also have to think about the construction, the material, whatever that all means in terms of health and toxicity, to design it for a circular system. Energy and LCAs are important, and last but not least, also water management and social aspects of your packaging have to be taken in consideration. There is no such thing as waste, just stuff in the wrong place. I think this says it all. Looking into reuse of packaging, reusing packages. Well, there's a great story from the Great Depression, which was not so great actually, but in the 1930s, the people started to use flour bags. And they took it as fabric because fabric was rare, and they made dresses and whatever clothes out of it. And then the flour producers thought, hey, that's a great idea. We just print patterns on our flour sacks. And so they did. And the most clever thing is, from my point of view, that they've used a different ink for the washing instruction and for their branding, which was also necessary if you want to sell flour. And this special ink could have been washed out, and then you have a plain fabric for your clothes. This is a wonderful example for upcycling, and even in those times. So there, it's my conclusion. There needs to be a need to turn waste into feedstock. And well, whenever there were crises in our history, then new ideas, creative ideas, innovation came up. A younger or the latest project in terms of reusing packaging is one of my favorite examples. You may know Allbirds is a super loved brand in terms of sneakers, and they, with the help of the agency Enlisted, they came up with this packaging, with this piece of packaging, this package, and they really made up their mind how to do that. And the result is this shoebox made out of paper pulp. And the good thing is it's biodegradable, it uses renewable resources, but it also has a second life. You can use it as a plant pot. You can even put it in the soil and it goes completely away. So this is a very, very good example, like bringing all these positive elements together. Yeah, and there are some brand new materials, exciting stuff. Let's look into it. Seedlip, they're using a material called Ecovative. That's a agricultural waste glued with mushrooms, so with mucils from mushroom, and it grows in a mold, and the result is what you can see here. Another example is the German Telekom. That's paper foam, potato starch, and paper pulp or cellulose is put into a mold, and you can have wonderful constructions like you can see here. Or keep it shrimple, a package made out of waste from crabs and lobsters turned into a packaging solution. And there are many, 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 many more of those materials coming up. So the world shouts zero plastic, and we have the problem with our constrained resources. Businesses across the globe, everything is getting more efficient, but in this respect, it's difficult to minimize waste. And under the term of biofabrication, there are fantastic new opportunities from scientists, from designers, from young entrepreneurs coming up with these materials made, well, out of bacteria, or out of avocado seeds, shells from coconuts, and so on and so on. Well, there are even opportunities for edible packaging. And now I stop my screen sharing because I brought something for you, which I would like to show you. And this is an edible packaging. So there's water inside, so it's edible water. And I will show you that it's real. It's not just a rendering or so, no, or just a makeup. So I can eat it right away. Let's see. Gone. Doesn't taste very good, but at least it's there. And I have some other materials. For example, this is popcorn, yeah, which you can use like as a substitute for styrofoam. Then we have Sulapak. This is a material made from wood. It is the same, a little bit the same. You can do the same as with plastics. There are also like this. It's made from apple skins, wonderful material, or a similar material that's called trans leather. That's a vegan leather. It really has interesting. It's an interesting material. Or this, maybe not for packaging, but if you're living in the desert, then this could be helpful for you. It's made out of carbon, and you can collect water with this. Just the fog in the morning, it runs, drinses all the way down. So let's get back to my presentation. Well, just a second. Well, so here we are again. Here we are again. Two of these examples are you can find in this box. This is from the European Commission with the help of Haute Innovation. That's Sascha Peters. I can recommend also his book. It's called Material. Let me see. It's called Material. Sascha Peters' book. Find it. It's not material innovation, but something like this. Well, you'll find it, and it's also done with the help of Lecker Werken. They did the concept, a German agency. Very interesting. You can find experiments for adults inside, so you can get it for free if you send a mail to the European Commission. There's the link. You should do a screenshot maybe, so then you'll find it and get it yourself. Okay, next is reuse and refill. So I also have some examples for that. Let's look into that. This is a beautiful, beautiful way of packaging, which is integrated with the product, which has a wonderful user experience, because if you want to say, I love you, or propose to somebody, your love to somebody, which is not so easy, then this product and packaging may help you. Because it's a game, and if you take the things apart, the ring will be inside the whole package. Wonderful. It's done by Alt Plus Design in Hong Kong. But what is super interesting from my point of view, if you talk about refilling or reusing packages, then we're talking about a whole system. So as you can see here, the milkman system, which is pretty old, it dates back to the times in Vermont in 1785, imagine. And today it becomes popular again if it's transferred into the new time. Maybe the milk won't come with the horse carriage or with the car, but with the self-driving, autonomous driving car, like you can see here in the middle, these autonomous robots. One company who's doing that is TerraCycle. They started the initiative Loop, which you can see here. You can order the products with Loop, and you'll get packages that are really exciting and which can be reused. So they're made in a more valuable way. They will be taken back when you get the next delivery, and they will cleaned, refilled, and delivered to your door again. This is an example from Van Berlo agency. They did one of those packages that's for Dove. It's a beautiful deodorant stick, and that can be replaced after use by Loop if you have your next order. Well, it's obvious that we're talking about reducing the plastic, reducing the material. It's obvious that we're talking about repurpose, about refill, but what is not obvious, and what they show, is that it also creates a relation between the customer and the brand, and that is important. What I can also show here, that was my idea little bit of time ago when I came up with my team with this bionic bottle. That's also a system where the bottle can be refilled. So there's a small, thin bag inside. So you just replace the bag. You don't need to refill it, but you get a new bag and then the bottle is full again, and you keep the skeleton the outside. Very, very important, as said, topic is recycling. The major problem of today's recycling is not the collection of material, nor is it that there is a market for the recyclates. No, the problem is it's a quality problem. So the definition of material is key. You can see here that's from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. From the 78 million tons of plastic which is produced every year, only 2% really go back into the cycle as a quality material feedstock. So all the rest is either well, going somewhere, or is cascaded into, well, lower quality products. Like, we don't need all these park benches, but this is a good example for where it goes to. A good idea is from Coca-Cola. They have this vending machine invented in China. So on the one hand side, it sells you a Coca-Cola drink. On the other side, you can put your bottles back and you will get an incentive on your smartphone and can buy new drinks or products made out of the recycled plastic. It's an interactive system. It works with face recognition. It also works with voice interactive systems. So this is one step in the right direction. Another good example for recycling is Ritter Sport, the famous German chocolate brand. They are doing chocolate in monomaterial plastic since many, many years, and they are part of the German recycling initiatives. They have a cradle to cradle certificate and all this, but nevertheless they started working with paper. So they tested paper. I have this prototype here, which was really hard to get, I can tell you. It really is a good touch, and it's much better accepted by the consumers than the plastic, although this is also a good solution. But if you look at it from a recycling point of view, that makes totally sense, because also the paper recycling is further than the plastic one. And the fun fact of it is that you can see it on the right hand side, that they already did a cellophane packaging in 1947, and I'm really happy that I got one of these sheets at eBay. Well, design for now, we're in a pandemic situation still, which we're really all suffering from, and this has an impact on packaging as well, maybe also on the future of packaging. Looking at the coffee to go mugs or cups, this is a tremendous problem right now, because there are wonderful solutions from Recup, from Cup Club, or on the top left from McDonald's, who also are experimenting with these cups. Imagine that we have 2.8 million coffee to go cups a year in Germany, which creates 40,000 tons of waste every year, only in Germany. So these solutions are good, but in our actual situation with COVID-19, we're going back to the single-use cups, which is not good. So we have to start just with ourselves. Maybe we should better sit down to drink a coffee and not to take a coffee to go back. But I hope that after we got over this pandemic bad situation, that we're coming back to these reusable cups, which are not allowed for hygienic reasons at the moment. I did a project at the beginning of COVID-19. I did a mask made out of paper with some friends, but unfortunately that was a big failure. We didn't find a market for that, and I think also from a protection point of view, it was not 100% ideal. But try again, fail again, and fail better. That's what Samuel Beckett tells us. So never stop trying to find good solutions for the packaging of the future, for the packaging of tomorrow. Well, to summarize what we've talked about today is co-innovation, co-creation, co-development is key. We have to bring all people together to come up with good solutions. We have to rethink packaging. We have to find integrated and online, offline retail packages. Digitization plays an important role. So smart packaging, there are still many, many opportunities to support customer needs and also logistic needs. We have to think about materials, new healthy materials. There's the Healthy Printing Initiative, which I can recommend to you. We have to think about, my time is over. Reuse systems, recycling, we talked about. Technologies for material identification are coming up, like the Holy Grail 2.0 project. And last but not least, we also, if we design the package of tomorrow, we still have to think about authenticity, storytelling, aesthetics, and excellence, which are all like subjects which are honored by Pent Awards as well. So that's basically it. This is my last picture. It's a picture which originally was painted by Jean-François Miele in 1857, and which is redone by Julia Nahon, an artist, and from the Gleaners, which pick up the corn, it's now the Cleaners. And the message of this picture is the only cure for litter is you. And I encourage you, well, to think about these topics and help us together to create a bright future, which answers the question, do we have to have fear and do we have to be frightened? No, we should not. And we have a special offer for you as EPDA. You know, I'm the president, so you are invited to join us. We can share those ideas amongst us. You can follow other exciting, inspiring presentations, and you can attend one EPDA live flash for free, and you become a member discount on the member fees in 2021 of 50% if you register soon. Yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I hope we still have some 2 minutes for for some questions.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for such a intriguing and fascinating presentation. As always, your presentations are fantastic. I want to kick off, first of all, there's a lot of praise for you in the chat. People saying thank you so much for, you know, saying about materials mattering and you know, looking at the waste hierarchy. So lots of great comments, and also about you eating the packaging. That got a lot of great reactions and comments. So thanks for doing that on air with us.
I have one more. I can eat one more. So I can offer you one, but I can.
Yes, please. Great. Well, it's fantastic to see that. I mean, who would have thought edible packaging, but it's great. Okay, well, look, there's a few questions we've got time for. I'm going to kick off first. So there seems to be a lot of talk around this in the industry about sustainability and luxury. Is it possible, and can you describe how that could look?
Well, it's a good question. I was part of the LuxPack Green Award, and if you look at it, you see that there are solutions defining luxury in a different way, a positive luxury which does not need so much material. So this opulence that will go, from my point of view. We come to solutions like the Japanese already have for many years. They're really like focusing and bringing the best also in smaller units. This may answer the question. I think that it ties in if you do it.
And it's great to see when you look at maybe younger generations now, as consumers, they're a lot more interested in knowing if something is sustainable and how it affects the planet. And, you know, they do make up a percentage of luxury shoppers. So maybe in the future, the way you define sustainability within luxury might not just be about the weight or the detail or the opulence. It could be if it's sustainable. Who knows? But let's hope. Okay, we've got another question here from Hernan, which says, what do you think are those 2 or 3 concepts or ideas that most clients and designers have deeply rooted in our heads, and that we should think about erasing completely in the short period of time?
I hope so. I hope so that there are concepts, and well, I can't say what it is. I have some ideas in my head. I would like to go more into solutions for all these well, shipping boxes. This is a nightmare. Why don't we have something like the container system on big ships? I mean, they are standardized. Standardization is a very important topic, and we have to come up with solutions. There are already some. I can, well, this is a repack, for example, from Finland is one idea, where you have bags instead of boxes. But if I look also, well, I can look into the mirror, because I'm ordering a lot in those days where all the shops are still closed in Germany. So it ends up with a pile of cardboard boxes, which have no second life so far. So these ideas, come up with those ideas, please. And well, let's discuss it. You're welcome. You're welcome to EPDA, and you can drop me a line if you want. Let's do that together.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're a very busy man, and we've really appreciated you giving your take on the future. We want to thank you again, and everybody watching, make sure that you do visit the EPDA website and check the team out and the guys there. It's fantastic and a great service. So we've got one more session left for today. It is this afternoon at 3:30. It is with Camille, and it's for the Murray Hennessy's new brand. We'll see you back at 3 p.m, not 3:30. I just got told off by my colleagues here. And make sure you have a good few hours, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks again, Uwe.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks a lot for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.